Hello and welcome to Taffy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Donna and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. This is actually my first YouTube video, so go easy on me please. I thought we'd start off with something quite simple, and I know it's July, but we do have to start planning ahead with regard to Christmas. And I always regret I get to the middle of December and think, oh, I wish I'd made this and I wish I'd made that. So it's July and I started making Christmas decorations. What I've made today is this small little box. It's just under 5 inches tall, and it is about 1.25 inches wide and 1.25 inches deep. And I think these would be really sweet to hang from the Christmas tree with some Christmas treats in them. Just for guests or for children, you know, whatever, and they can take these off the tree, and they're just a nice change to other sweets and things that you can hang from the tree. And you don't need much to make one of these. You need a small piece of DSP, bit of ribbon, a hole punch, and you need something to trim your paper with. So from the Be Merry Designer Series paper collection, there are 12 designs in this collection. I've got some reindeer, this dogtooth design that makes your eyes go a bit funny. Also in this pack we've got a nice Christmas design there with the red, green and white. This colour here is called Cherry Cobbler. So we've got something quite generic going on there, but with some Christmas trees on the back. Some green snowflakes and green paper with some white splodges on it, and then we've got some more generic Christmas designs on there, and a bit of a candy stripe going on there. So lots of different designs, quite Christmassy, but not, I think, not too in your face, which I think is why I quite like those. So this, I've already prepared this stack into 6 by 6 inch squares, but we need something slightly smaller. I need to take 1/2 inch off of there. So I'm going to do that with my paper trimmer, and this also doubles up as a scorer as well, and I like this because if you're doing lots of trimming and scoring at the same time, you can just use one tool for this. But if you wanted to, you could trim using the trimmer and then use the scoring board to do your scoring. So we're going to trim first. This is our scoring tool, and this is our paper cutting blade on here, so I want to use this first. So like I said, this is 6 by 6 inches square, and I just want to take 1/2 inch from one side, and because I've got directional paper here, I want to make sure that my 1/2 inch comes off here. So I'm just going to put that in at the 5.5, make sure that's on there and that the edge of this is pressed up against there. And I'm just going to take that bit off there, nice and easy. So I also need to make some score lines on here as well. So starting with the shorter side, with the 5.5 inches side, we'll start off first. Our first scoring line is at 1.25, so make sure you use this and keep that one well out of the way. The scoring line there. At 2.5, and we'll have another score line there. At 3.75, and another score line there, and then at 5, and a score line there. And then we're going to rotate this 90 degrees, and I want to have another score line at 4.75. Back to the top. Done with our trimmer now. So what we have along here, and you might not be able to see it here because it's got the light shining on it, even worse there, but you've got a fold line here, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fold lines there, or score lines rather. Okay, so as you're looking at it, you've got the long skinny rectangle here, and then a small rectangle here, and then you've got 4 squares there. So we're going to trim off this bit here. Let's just take off that up to that very first score line, and then I want to make this into a tab. So I'm just going to take a diagonal line there and turn it round, and I want a diagonal line there. So what you're left with is a tab like that, and that's what we're going to put our glue on to form the box. But before we do that, you're going to cut up each of the remaining 3 score lines, and these are going to form the base of your box. So that's what you should have. 4 of those and a tab there. So look at this side, but not for too long. It does make your eyes go a bit funny. And you want to get your bone folder. Probably should have done this first actually. And you're going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. And I use a bone folder to do that. It's quite sturdy and gives a nice crisp fold line. Or you can just fold and put a nice crisp fold along there. So look at this side, fold this over where you've got that tab, and then you're going to get some glue. You can use double-sided sticky tape if you like, or you can use snail, or you can use fast fuse. And we're going to run some glue just before that fold line and take it down to the bottom there. I'm going to top off that before it dries, and then just fold this over, and that line should meet that score line. Sometimes if you're folding or if your measurements have gone a bit adrift, then you might find it doesn't quite match. It's not a massive disaster, but you might just find it's not quite square. Just going to move that glue away from there. And then you just want to give that a couple of minutes for that just to grab. So while that's happening, we've got the seam then that runs along there. So that's where we've just stuck the tab to the edge of our paper. So that's the back. So we'll have that facing us now. You're going to fold that tab in, fold the 2 sides in, and then we're going to put a bit of glue on that bottom bit there. Again, you can use double-sided if you want. The reason I like to use wet glue is that when you come to stick it, you have got a little bit of wiggle room there if you need it. If you use double-sided sticky tape, as soon as you've stuck that down, it's stuck. And if you try to take it off, it would just ruin your paper. So I'm just going to hold that down there for a couple of seconds. Do get a little bit that comes out sometimes, just wipe that away. It does dry clear. Right, I'm just going to put that down on there and it will grab. Now what we need to do now is just put a hole into each of these 4 sides. So I've got my hole punch, and I'm just going to put a hole, just eyeball it in the middle. I need a new hole punch. I bought this one cheap off eBay. It's been not great. And I'm going to put another one there, one there, and then the last one on that final side. And so we're left with that. I'll find that seam again, so that's there running at the back. Now, to get the shape that we want, all we're going to do, just got your forefinger and your thumb there, and you're just going to, if you put your middle finger there, and you're just going to push that in and just push. and it will automatically just form that shape quite naturally, and you don't want to do anything else with that because that just sits there quite nicely there. Fill it with your treats. You probably get quite a lot of chocolate in there, or you could perhaps get a small chocolate bar or some maybe some chocolate eggs. It just depends what's on sale at that time of year. Close that back up and then get some ribbon. Push the ribbon through there. Close up the box. I'm not going to do a bow because I'm absolutely useless at bows. I'll just tie it with a knot. And here we are, it's ready to hang on the Christmas tree. And I've got a collection of them now. So I've got a reindeer, I've got Christmas trees, and I've got white snowflakes on a red background. And I think these will look so pretty hanging from the Christmas tree, filled with treats, either for guests when they come to visit your house, or for children, hanging on there, ready for them to eat. You can make these smaller if you wanted to, or you can make them bigger. But out of one sheet of 12 by 12 DSP, you can make 4 of these. There are 12 sheets, 12 sheets in a pack, so actually you can make 48 in total. I'll put the link to my online shop in the description bar below. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see